To keep this as concise as possible. When understanding what you're doing with AI or what you're not doing with AI is definitely important. But something that I truly began to notice about myself specifically, and definitely in a large number of other people, is allowing yourself to outsource your own thinking. And what I mean by that is every single problem that you face and everything that you go through is a learning experience. But when you allow yourself to not even give yourself the time and day to think and just ask AI to solve this problem for me or create this workflow for me or whatever it may be, you are taking the time out of your day to draw yourself backwards in time, and which indefinitely leads you to not learning the skills that I think are beneficial and will definitely transform your future. And that specific skill is creativity. As you allow yourself to ask ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, what is wrong with this and how do I fix it? What you're doing there is you're practically asking an AI LLM to answer and solve a question for you that you don't want to take your time out of day or the time of the day to solve. And sometimes these types of problems are so beneficial to do and to learn, but we just have gotten so lazy as humanity to even do this stuff. And another part of this that I've been recently thinking about is content creation. So definitely content creation is great, and I believe that content creation is done best with the authenticity of the user and the person who creates content. And this is slowly beginning to disappear. So, authenticity and creators that actually create coherent ideas themselves are the ones who leverage the most out of their creativity. Because if you speak to an AI agent or whatever it is, you aren't getting a good enough output. And obviously, there are tools that can help you search for the algorithm and basically what is trending at the time. But you truly have to understand that what trends is totally dependent on you. There's definitely an algorithm that works, but if you can create, or if your creativity is great enough for you to create your own algorithm and for you to create your own trends, that is where it's truly at. Because once you realize that if you search the algorithms so consistently, and this is something that occurs for every single content creator, how do you expect there to be any new trends if basically every trend is just being repeated and the algorithm stays the same? Since everybody's doing the exact same videos in content creation. So, definitely the most important thing that you can leverage on and actually make sure that you don't lose in the time of AI is your creativity in thinking. And I definitely have taken a lot of inspiration from Dan Coe and definitely a lot of authors that I've seen on X and Substack that outsourcing your thinking to AI is definitely the most impactful thing you can do to your brain and your development, especially at a younger age. You're not using these cognitive functions that you should be doing to grow your IQ, or not even your IQ, but your thinking and your functioning in general and problem solving skills. These skills that are important outside of just using a computer, and you believe that it doesn't matter now, but once you, let's say you have a business meeting and all you've done from then was use AI to solve these problems for you and advance you to whatever stage of life that you are at right now. Let's say you're at a business meeting and this information that you need to give is important. So the person who's interviewing you says, "Oh, what is X?" Okay? And in your head you're like, "Oh my gosh, I've definitely read this out of uh let me pull out my phone. Sorry. Let me pull out my phone. Let me ask Claude." But you can't do that because you've allowed yourself to pretty much use AI as your thinking source and not enough as a tool. So I believe AI is great when it comes to polishing your ideas and pushing you forward to creating new conclusions. But once you allow it to become the source of your thinking and the source of where you get your ideas and your thoughts and your beliefs and everything that you do, that is truly when you've outsourced your own beliefs and your coherent thoughts and ability to create creative thoughts. So you definitely do have to begin to understand, what do I truly need AI for? And if I'm going to use AI, is this going to help me or is it going to set me back? Because you begin to rely on AI and you understand the capabilities and you're like, wow, why would I not use this? But then once you really think about it, the reason you wouldn't use it is so you can solve the problem on your own. And there's going to reach a point where AI is going to be able to pretty much solve any problem. So, or know every single concept about the world. So the only thing that it won't know is what's happening in your brain. And that's something that it can't search or scrape or anything on the internet. It just won't understand because it's something that is purely out of your head and the authentic beliefs that you have and everything that you've experienced. And I've noticed I've caught myself in this small little hill of thinking that AI is going to do everything for me, but then I believed and thought about it even deeper and deeper, and I noticed that I was falling into the exact same cycle and beliefs that I'm speaking of right now. Like, I'm building myself an AI business, and I understand how important AI is for businesses and just production and efficiency in general. But one thing that I cannot allow myself to do while running AI and using it on a daily basis is definitely allowing it to outsource my thinking. Because then, what is the point of creative thoughts? What is the point of humans if AI is just going to take over? And another thing I want to talk about is, when you think deep enough, it's like these ideas that you've experienced on a constant basis begin to show up. And AI can't think of that, and AI doesn't know because it's never lived. So there's no way that that can think deeper than you, at least not at this moment. That can think deeper than you well enough that it can have the exact same thought as you. So something that I've been doing and something that I've looked into has been pretty much AI automations for real estate agents. And when I looked into this, I asked AI, what are the biggest bottlenecks that they face? And it was like actual real answers, but they were just so shallow. Like, it was like, oh, AI automation, they need lead follow up, they need dead reactivation, whatever it is. That's so shallow because the AI finds general terms and thinks that they just runs with it. They find general terms and they're like, yeah, this is definitely gonna work, and it's a actual problem that they face, but it's never actually lived in that real estate agency specifically or a specific small little brokerage. And that's truly what kind of pushed me to follow an internship and push myself towards actually learning the bottlenecks and the problems that people face in real estate agencies, but in real time. So I'm not leveraging all of my research and all of my understanding based on AI, and I'm actually allowing myself to think deep enough to solve these problems. And as I spoke about before, I was allowing AI to outsource my knowledge. So basically, for this video, originally it was going to be scripted, and I was going to use AI to build that script. But then I began to think about, I am speaking about not using AI to outsource my thinking, but I'm caught in the same loop of allowing AI to outsource my thinking. And it was just such a weird predicament because I was speaking of something that I'm telling people not to do, but then I'm doing it at the same time. So, what is that? That's just so crazy to think about because you truly don't understand you're in a loop of doing things until you really take a second to think about what you're doing and until you realize it. Obviously, when I'm building that script, it's all my thoughts, but still, the idea that AI is writing this for me and that it's not truly the way that I write or the way that I speak or the way that my diction is made, it just feels so weird to me. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to come across and say. The biggest skill that you can really have in the future alongside AI is creative thinking. Because once AI can't replicate your thinking or the creativity of your mind, you're basically invaluable, or infinitely valuable, I mean. Or yeah, invaluable, because nothing can compare to the creativity of the human mind. So the people who allow AI to outsource their thinking are going to fall behind. And the people who are able to think for themselves are the ones who are truly going to grow. And what I mean by grow is they're going to become successful because they're creating new ideas, they're creating new innovations, and they're not allowing AI to limit what they can think. And I believe that this is a great step and a great way to think for you to pursue your life and everything that you want to do. So, this is just a short video on my beliefs on AI and creative thinking. And thank you to Dan Coe for obviously having given me this insight, and obviously all those Substack and X creators that take their time out of their day to give insightful information that leads me to conclusions like this. Thank you.